This is the first video for the Week 8 test, and we've got two problems, two inequality problems. The first is a standard inequality, and if you recall, we solved these similar to how we solve equations. So step one is to cancel out the constant term, in this case the 8. So we're going to add a negative 8 to both of the sides. This gives us a negative 3x is greater than negative 15. Step 2 is to divide by the coefficient on both sides. And we know we divided by the coefficient when we see this big 1 right here. Now when we divide by a negative or multiply by a negative, remember the sign changes direction. So our sign, which was a greater than sign, has to become a less than sign. Negative 15 divided by negative 3 gives us 5. So we know that x is less than 5. So let's go to our number line and number it 5, 6, 7, and 8, 4, 3, and 2. And we have x is less than 5. So we're going to circle at the 5. We are going to shade the area that is less than that. And as a final step, let's write the inequality answer above the line we created. X is less than 5. And then we can check it with the numbers below. So 3 is less than 5, and 2 is less than 5, and so is 4. Now we can do one last thing. We can check this work just like we would check an equation. We're going to pick one of the numbers that falls beneath the line that we drew. So let's pick the 4, and we substitute that back into the inequality. So we have negative 3 times 4 instead of x, plus 8 is greater than negative 7. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12, plus 8, greater than negative 7. Negative 12 plus 8 is negative 4, and yes, negative 4 is greater than negative 7. So that's our standard inequality. Our second problem is one that involves taking the information out of a word problem. So Steve bought a roll of chicken wire that is 45 feet long to make a rectangular chicken coop. He wants the length of the chicken coop to be 16 feet and the width to be a whole number as well. What's the question? What are we trying to find? Here it is. What is the largest width he can make? So when we take those facts out of the problem, 45 feet is how much chicken wire he purchased. That is the biggest amount that he can use. So he has to use an amount that is either less than or equal to 45 feet. He wants to make a rectangular coop. So let's take a minute and draw ourselves a rectangle. It doesn't have to be very fancy. This is our chicken coop. Here's what we know. The length is going to be 16. So we have two sides that are each 16 in length. We're trying to find the width, so we're going to put width down twice. So here's what we know. We have a total of 32 feet, 16 and 16. That's the two lengths. Plus, we have the two widths. And all of that has to be less than or equal to 45. We can go ahead and bring that down. And we're going to solve it just like we solved the inequality in number 1. Our first step is going to be cancel out the 32, cancel out the constant amount. So cancel 32 here. Do the same thing, add negative 32 here. This negative 32 cancels out this 32, and we have 2w less than or equal to 45 plus negative 32, positive 13. Divide both sides by 2, and we get w has to be less than or equal to 6 1/2. So W less than or equal to 6.5. The question, what's the largest width he can make? He wants it to be a whole number. Well, we can't make the width any bigger than 6.5, so in this case, the width is equal to 6 feet. That's our final answer for the width. Notice it's not less than 6 feet or less than or equal to 6 feet. They want the largest width we can make. In this case, the largest width is 6 feet. All right, I'll be producing videos for the rest of the Week 8 test, so look at any of the sections where you had difficulty.